Some days you're the windshield. Some days you're the bug, right? But when you're having one of those days, you know, when you're going through one of those life struggles and you just don't know what to do, don't try to go out and figure it out on your own. That's the worst time to make an important decision. You'll always take the easy way out and you'll quit and you'll regret it later. Rather do what I did. Pick up that walkie-talkie. Pick up the phone. Call your best friend, your best buddy. Call somebody that loves you, somebody that believes in you. Somebody won't let you quit. Somebody gets you back on that sled. Somebody gets you back on track. Because if you quit on your dream, you'll regret it all your life.
That was three-time Olympian, motivational speaker, and best-selling author, Ruben Gonzalez. His latest book, Becoming Unstoppable, How to Be an Olympian in Business and in Life, is a roadmap to fulfilling your life's dreams and goals, and Ruben's joining us now. Ruben and I met, I guess it was a couple of summers ago. We were speaking together out in Arizona, which is a really interesting place to meet a guy who is a luger. I got to be careful with how you enunciate that. A luge guy in the Winter Olympics. How are you, Ruben?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Man, congratulations on this new book. I'm doing great. So I got to stop and we got to reset the tone for everybody. I know your story, but we've got to let folks know your story because that's, you know, that is the key to who you are and how you teach people to be unstoppable is your whole process that you went through. I mean, you're from Houston, Texas. How does anybody in hot and humid Houston, Texas end up in the Winter Olympics?
You know what? When I was 21, I was watching the Olympics on TV. And I see Scott Hamilton, little tiny Scott Hamilton, win the gold medal in figure skating. And he gave me hope. I said to myself, man, if that little guy can go to the Olympics, I can too. I'll be in the next Olympics no matter what. It's a done deal. I just got to find a sport. And I was always the last kid picked for PE all my life. It was sad. And so I thought, you know, my only chance is to find a sport that's got a lot of broken bones. Maybe there'll be a lot of quitters, and I just won't quit. And I looked at ski jump, and I'd never skied before, so forget that. You know, that'd have been suicide. And bobsled, what are you going to do? You know, where are you going to find three other nuts in Houston who want to do the bobsled? I mean, you got to go to Jamaica for that. And that left the luge. I thought, you know, luge, I can do that one by myself. And I went to Lake Placid, and at first they wouldn't take me. They said, man, you're 21 years old. You're way too old, you know. And I wouldn't take no for an answer. And got myself into a beginner's class. And it's brutal. I mean, first 2 years you're crashing 4 out of 5 times as you're learning. And that's when everybody quits. It's like anything else. Everybody quits at the beginning when things are tough. And I just outlasted everybody and just kept coming back. And third year, I went from crashing 4 out of 5 to crashing 1 out of 100. I figured it out. It's basically, I learned how to ride the bike. I still wasn't any good at it. And then I started the World Cup circuit. And you race against the best in the world, and you're trying to build your World Cup standings to top 50 in the world, because that's the cutoff point for the Olympics. And 4 years and a few broken bones later, I made my dream come true. And so and I went ahead and did it again in Albertville, in the Albertville Olympics in '92, and then Salt Lake City in 2002. And after a 6-year break, I'm back on the sled, and I head back in December, actually in November, for the World Cup circuit. I'm going for Vancouver in 2010. And
all right, that's going to be 4 different decades? Is that right?
That's right. The 80s, the 90s, 2002, and then the 2010. And so, yeah, I guess I'm the AARP guy, the Geritol man for the Winter Olympics.
That's absolutely fabulous. I had forgotten that Scott played a role in inspiring you to do this. He and his wife Tracy are neighbors of ours and good friends of ours. So next time you're in Nashville, we'll have to go out to dinner and introduce you.
Oh, I'd love to meet him. I mean, he was my inspiration.
He would enjoy knowing that. That's very cool. So now, listen, this luge stuff, I mean, I've seen it on TV, and everything on TV slows down. But really, what you're doing is you're like dropping your butt off a mountain at like 90 miles an hour down an ice, like a, I don't know, an ice chute, aren't you? What's this feel like?
That's it. I mean, it's nuts. You're on the edge the whole way down. It actually feels like, you know, when you're leaning back on a chair and you're to the point where you're about to fall back, you're losing that control. You're on the edge of disaster the whole way down. Flying 80, 90 miles an hour down that track, and on the curves, you're pulling up to 6 Gs sometimes. And now that means I weigh 200 pounds. That's 1,200 pounds squashing me against the wall. Feels like a polar bear sitting on my chest. And you're just making tiny corrections the whole way down to have that perfect line down the track. And so you can have a good time. And you don't even have any brakes. I mean, is that nuts or what? But it's a crazy sport. If you stick with it long enough, you learn the nuances and you learn the skills that you need to reach the destination, which is the Olympics.
Well, and of course the lesson that you get out of this, and it becomes the metaphor for your talks as you go around America talking to business people and so forth, is to become, as the title of the new book is, unstoppable. So talk about some of the things you do to become unstoppable.
You know, it's several things. Everybody thinks there's a silver bullet to everything. Well, you have to program your mind. You have to condition your mind to start believing in yourself. And so a couple of things that you can do is it's the books you read are a huge influence, and the people you hang around with. I believe that 90% of success is who are you hanging around with. If you hang around winners, you'll start thinking like winners, and you'll stop focusing on obstacles, and you start focusing on the goal. And so it's who you hang around with, what you're putting in your mind through books or CDs or things like that. And it's also creating a dream team, creating a team of people that just won't let you quit. Because everybody's going to have that day where they're going through life storms and they're having those struggles. And everybody's got a weak moment. And you got to have a team that will just help you pick you up and dust yourself off and just keep on keeping on.
There you go, folks. Ruben Gonzalez is our guest. The book is Becoming Unstoppable. Ruben, we're going to hold you through a break here and bring you back. We want to talk a little bit more about this. In the meantime, folks, you can go to our website at daveramsey.com, and we have set up the book Becoming Unstoppable, not as a 20-page or a little brochure download, but the entire book. You can download it free at my website right now. We want to give it to you, and that's courtesy of Ruben. He wants to give it to you. And I'm telling you, the number one character quality of people who succeed at anything, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's marriage, whether it's raising kids or having a great career, is that they don't quit. It's perseverance. That is the number one character quality of successful people, and that's why I like Ruben and hanging around with him. We got to eat dinner and spend some time together when we were speaking together at this for Tommy Hopkins out in Arizona. And you get this sense off the guy. He's fun. He's easygoing. He's laughable, affable, and all of that. But there's this thing down inside that says unstoppable. Never, 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 never quit.